let's talk Rob Zombie's reboot of the famous 60s TV show, The Munsters. For those that don't know, Rob Zombie, he's the one that created House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, Three from Hell, and the Halloween reboots of 1 and 2. He also was a famous music artist who transitioned into films. He confirmed himself recently that he is rebooting the 60s classic, The Munsters. And for those that don't know what The Munsters is, it was a 60s sitcom about your typical 60s monsters of, you had Frankenstein, the Wolfman, a sort of Dracula type character, the wife, the bride of Frankenstein, and you even had, your human character that sort of blended into this eccentric and overly happy monster family. And it became an instant classic. I'm sure most of you know of The Munsters. I myself am 30 and I've seen pretty much every episode, if not every episode of The Munsters. And so there isn't a ton of information right now as far as Rob Zombie's The Munsters, but we do know that the filming and production is set to begin in May in Budapest. So that is where it's supposed to be filmed. We know right now that Sherry Moon Zombie, which is Rob Zombie's wife, she is set to play Lily Munster. There are people that are sort of mixed on that. People love the idea, people hate the idea. People are looking at it as like, you don't have to put your wife in every film. But however you feel about it, let me know down in the comments. She is supposed to be playing Lily Munster. And then we have Jeff Daniel Phillips, who is set to play Herman Munster. And that is as far as we know confirmed for the cast. It's also reported that Dan Roebuck, George Garcia, and Richard Brake are all supposed to be part of the film. And it's even rumored that Cassandra Peterson, who you may know as Elvira, the Mistress of Darkness, is also supposed to play a sort of supporting role, though none of that is concrete and confirmed. The show or film or whatever they plan on doing is supposed to be streamed. It's reported right now that it's going to be streamed on NBC's Peacock, though this is just, again, a rumor. We don't know concrete if it will be streamed, if it'll be a movie or what. Most likely, from what is being reported and discussed, it is looking like it will be a TV show or a series, maybe a limited series, whatever. Most likely, it'll be a series or a season, and based on its success will determine if it continues to be a thing. But as far as any other information, that is all we have right now. If you want me to keep you updated on Rob Zombie's reboot of The Munsters, please like this video and let me know down in the comments, because I only want to make videos and report on films that you are all interested in. As far as my opinion on this upcoming series or whatever, I think it has a lot of potential. Again, it was a classic, iconic show. I mean, to this day, they have made references in songs and movies and even TV shows. Even The Simpsons, I believe, did an episode sort of showing homage to that franchise, that the Munsters series. So I think that there is a ton of potential. The fan base for that show, again, it was the 60s, so you're talking 50, 60 years ago that this show was inception. So it'll be interesting to see how much success it has, just because a lot of that original fan base are all grown or, in their higher end of age. And we have a newer generation that would sort of be introduced. So they can be creative in a lot of ways. They can sort of change a lot of aspects of the show and do different things. I'm interested to see how dark it'll be, because it's Rob Zombie and he's more known for those dark, sort of gory horror type things. where the Munsters were it was a sitcom. It was a funny comedy with these eccentric monsters. So are they going to keep those elements, or is it going to be sort of a gore, like they're monsters, like they're these evil creatures that prey on humanity or something? It'll be interesting to see what direction and how they actually build this franchise going forward, especially with Rob Zombie being at the head of this whole thing. But again, I think there's a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of growth and ideas that they can create and come up with. It would essentially be its own thing. Yeah, they're rebooting the Munsters, but it can be a sort of modern day reimagining almost of what that was. It could work as a sort of real horror type film or series because it's about monsters, and the aesthetics of the monsters will be interesting to see, especially compared to the 60s. Our special effects and stuff are alien compared to that. So there's a lot that they can do. It'll be interesting to see what the budget is, how much money they have for resources and effects and etc. I don't want it to be this CGI mess, which is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they stick true in a lot of ways to the original, and I'm sort of up in the air with it being a horror or a sitcom, because again, I was a fan of the original. I enjoy the original. I think it's hilarious. I think it's entertaining, and I don't want them to sort of ruin that to create their own thing. But as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. What do you think? Have you seen the original in the 60s? Do you want to see a more gory or horror or dark version of that? Or do you want it to be the sitcom and comedy that it was? Do you agree that it's sort of being reimagined to a newer audience because the original 60s audience are now at the tail end, and it's sort of its own thing now? You can create it however you want it to be. All you're really using is the name and maybe the characters. Obviously, Rob Zombie wants to use the characters. That's why he's using Lily and Herman. So we will get the classic, iconic names and characters. It'll just be interesting to see what direction they go. So let me know what you think. What is your opinion on all of that? Let me know down in the comments if you want me to continue to update you on the Munsters film. Because again, I don't want to make videos that you don't want to hear or don't care about. So I appreciate the information. Don't forget to like the video. It helps me out a lot. Lets me know that you enjoy these types of videos. I really appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel, followed by the bell notification so you never miss an upload. I'll see you in the next one.